and welcome to episode 12 of Trapped in My Mind. Today with me, Keenan Jones.
Thanks for having me, man.
How you doing, buddy?
Not too bad.
I'm excited that you're here. A little surprised to see that you're here because I've known you since 4th grade, and we've had a bit of a weird relationship in the sense that we were never really friends, and I don't really know why.
Been a journey, yeah.
So, first question I have to ask is, what made you want to come on?
I mean, it stems to, I guess, when I reached out to you, I just kind of been in a place where just thinking about people generally, and I just thought it was, like I told you, I thought it was a cool gig that you were doing, and I like podcasts and wanted to show you some positive energy. Didn't think you'd reply back, but here we are. So
I'll reply back to anybody who wants to come on, but I was surprised to see your DM come through, but happily surprised nonetheless. I know you said that you've been listening to lots of the episodes, right?
Oh yeah, yep.
And you specifically enjoyed another one of our old school friends, Ross, right?
Yeah.
So I know you said that you kind of related to some of the things he was saying. Is there a certain thing in particular that you said you related to?
Yeah, I linked up with him around the same time. I shouted out to you, and we just, talked about a lot of stuff. And I felt like the whole divorce scenario was interesting just because I feel like everything somebody goes through happens at different times. And I felt like, his divorce perspective was, I can feel some of the, some similar angsts and pains, but like mine kind of happened at a different time. His was when he was, like, I think he said he was
third grade
or whatever,
something
when
like
he was 12 and whatnot. And mine happened way later. I think with a lot of stuff in my life, I was more of a late bloomer. So back, reasons dating back to maybe why I wasn't as friendly with people or open-minded and more closed-minded, and you and I didn't get along, or Ross and I had times when we were butting heads, was because I was dealing with things after maybe when he was or you were and everything, and what I was going through was late, junior year of high school and senior year of high school, so it was just more of figuring out myself later on than maybe he did, but now that, like we talked about earlier, like everything sort of evens out later when you get older. So
I would agree. Time heals most.
Yeah. Time heals most wounds.
So you're saying the shit you're going through was a divorce? Your parents got divorced when you were a junior, you said?
Yeah. When you're growing up, you kind of think everything's fine, and when you're younger like that, like going into, I guess, the neurology of it, you still have a lot of time left to learn and to, get the building blocks of that stuff and morals and the way you, what's the word? Just the way that you
act and
just structure yourself.
Yeah.
When you're 17, 18, and then something big like that happens, it's hard to recalibrate, I guess, since it all happens at once. I was, it's 17, 18, everything's going great, and then all of a sudden this has been a deep-rooted thing with my parents for 9 years, and they want to bring it up now. Dad was unfaithful to my mom, and on top of that, he wanted to get a divorce, and it sucked.
Yeah.
But it's happening way later, so it's like not everybody, but it seemed like most of the people had gone through what they had gone through
by that time,
more in an appropriate time, right? And I'm 18. I think I have everything figured out, and then I literally have to just shift everything and rethink.
Well, and such a pivotal time in your life too, is that's when you're applying for colleges and shit.
Yeah.
You said that there had been like suppressed issues for years before that. Is it right?
Yeah, with my parents, not with.
So you didn't know?
My brother and I, yeah, we didn't know about any of it, and again, it's like you said, it comes up at a pivotal time, when I think, like, growing up, there's your younger ages, and then there's like preteen and young adulthood. You want your parents to be there as well, like getting apartments or getting a job
Mm-hmm.
or whatever. And that period of my life was 18 to 20, 23, 24 now.
Okay.
Was on my own because my parents were selfish and wanted to figure out their shit.
Mm-hmm.
You know, that my mom wanted to figure out why she had been cheated on,
Mm-hmm.
and my dad had somewhat of a, I guess, might not like me for saying it, but somewhat of a midlife crisis. He just wasn't happy
Okay.
and wanted to move on too. And they wanted to figure out their stuff, and Austin and I had to learn on our own. So that led to a lot of stuff of just, rebelling and going to college and not fitting in and all that kind of junk.
Are you close with your parents still, or were you like? I guess what was the dynamic
Yeah.
between you and your parents pre-divorce and then post-divorce?
Well, pre-divorce, I was always, I'm pretty sure a lot of people know, I was really close with my dad.
Yeah.
He always, cross-country, track, sports, he was coach for all of them. I mean, even baseball and other sports, he was always the coach. So I always had a father-son, but two riders in one horse scenario. He was always my coach. He was always there as that friend and I guess mentor in a sports term. But yeah, I was always closer to him. But again, as I've gotten older, it's kind of lopsided now. I'm closer to my mom.
Yeah.
But
So let me ask, did you like having your coach as a dad, or did sometimes you wish he was just more like dad, non-coach?
I think when I was younger, I thought it was really cool
Okay.
to have dad and also just boom have coach. But as I got older, I think the more I found it frustrating because I think I more wanted dad.
Yeah.
I got more coach,
Yeah.
which I guess kind of a weird mentality of like the way he was a dad was a coach. So no matter how I sliced it, I was getting coach.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
So just a background for anybody who might not know you so well. You were big into running, like very good at running.
No.
Yeah. And your dad was your coach in that sense.
Yep.
This is a question that I've always wanted to ask. Like, why is it so fucking serious? Like, I feel like every time I saw you around school, whether it was before school, after school, during school, this guy's fucking running. And, like, I feel like I didn't know you, so I never really asked. But, like, I feel like if somebody else won a race, you were pissed, dude. And I know a lot of that's just being competitive. And that might be wrong.
Yeah, no.
But, like, why was running, like, so fucking serious?
Why was I pissed, or why was I?
I mean, both. Like, what? So,
No, I just super competitive.
okay.
I loved, whether it's running or not. I'm just always super competitive. Whether
Okay.
it's card games or debates and picking people's brain, I'm just always
Okay.
competitive. But I don't know. It ran in my family, so I was pretty much destined to do cross country and track. I mean, I loved baseball, and I think in 8th grade I had to make a decision where I wanted either. I think it was a moral standard for my family that you don't half-ass something.
Yeah.
There are a lot of kids that did maybe baseball, football, and something else. They shared it with another sport, and they said, I mean, it's up to you. You can obviously you're good at cross country track, and you're good at other sports too. I was never big, so I wasn't gonna do football, but I was a damn good baseball player too. But I just made the choice to do that. But I think behind the scenes, I was kind of no choice.
Yeah.
It was omnipresent. It was in my family, friends.
Did your whole family run,
acquaintances.
or just your dad? Because I know he was big into
Yeah.
running from what I knew about him.
Mom ran, dad ran, and
Okay.
all of their connections and everybody that I pretty much knew were either
Okay.
people that my dad had coached or acquaintances that my mom had known. So she was all state at Brighton, and my dad was all state at Livonia Churchill. So
So did you kind of feel like you didn't have a option? Because I feel like that's kind of pressure right there.
yeah, it's exactly it's the pressure and the expectation stuff. I felt kind of. I mean, you can maybe blame it on the, I guess, parents making me feel like I had to do it, or just me being naive and impressionable and wanting to go with what was familiar. So
Yeah.
I picked that, and it worked well for a little bit. Yes, you know. But
I know when you came over here, you said you're done running. You haven't fucking ran a step in 2 years.
I haven't.
And considering that was such a big thing in your life, did you stop running the same time around the divorce or a little bit after? Or why did you stop running?
I stopped mainly just because I fell out of love with it.
Okay.
I think when my parents' divorce happened, that was when running cross country and track was most important, and that was kind of all I had.
So like junior, senior year of high school?
Yeah, junior, senior year, and then going into obviously affected. I ran bad those years, so it affected scholarships and where I went to school. But I think college was it was an outlet to the sports was an outlet to escape what was going on family wise, and also just have one thing that I could focus on. Now, not only because I was good at it, but because, to reiterate it, I guess it was kind of all I had.
Yeah.
Family was in shambles. Brother was already in college, and I just really, I didn't have a lot of friends. I was just, I had running, so I just said, okay, I'm just going to stick with this for a couple of years. But then I ended up stopping, and we'll probably get to it, but way later down the road, just I fell out of love with it. Just
Simple as that?
didn't want to do it anymore. Yeah, I fell in love with some other stuff,
Okay.
So I just, I think probably, whether it's Jeremy that you've talked to or whoever, you, when you're doing college sports like that, you pretty much realize you're not going to go pro at it. So you're not going to make a career out of it. So I guess what I thought was, what's the point?
Did you feel like it was like time wasted or energy wasted or just you're done with it now?
Not energy wasted in a sense of like I regretted doing it for 7 years, but just like it probably down the road would be energy wasted. I could be spending time more into school or a social life,
Yeah.
maybe a girlfriend, or working on getting certified for a career or whatever. But also, what led me to that was just also falling out of love with it. Just college wears you out, so I just didn't want to do it anymore.
Yeah. I mean, that makes sense.
So,
That makes sense. So, if going back, I just want to, if you don't mind, go back to the divorce. How did you find out? Was it kind of just like, hey, we're getting a divorce and now we have to tell you, or?
And I don't know if he'll end up watching this, but whatever. He kind of broke down crying. He just said, I don't know if I love Janelle anymore. I don't know if I love Mom anymore. And we just said, okay, well, that's okay. Figure it out. I'm 18. I can't help you.
Yeah.
Austin's, I'm in college. I can't help you. Well, okay, thanks for telling us. And then it was, Austin was at Albion and in college, and I was at home, and I had to kind of deal with all that stuff, arguing, fighting, and then just overall getting a divorce. And like you said, it takes forever. That process is just
it's all
excruciating.
And I can imagine it's all, like you said, new to you. But even so, the part where you said he kind of broke down, in a sense, that kind of makes me realize, like, I mean, as a kid, you think about your parents getting divorced. It's like, what the fuck? Like, I'm your kid. But at the same time, that's a relationship for them, and relationships are hard no matter what age you are, I'd imagine. I guess I'm not older yet. I don't have a family, but I know for me, relationships are still hard. So
I feel like maybe it's harder being an adult because you have kids and a job and, an established family involved.
More responsibilities.
I think when he said that, I kind of took it as just I've been noticing things here and there that are just like problems that her and I maybe need to work on to fix the marriage. I thought fixing the marriage would be an option. I didn't know that it was unfaithful, in love with somebody else, I'm done.
Too far gone already, can't be fixed.
Too far gone type of thing, because too far gone would be, we've known about it forever.
Yeah.
It was thrown on us.
All at once.
Yeah. Or, you think about it like you're unhappy for this many years. My instinct would be like, because I'm sound with what I'm thinking, my feelings. Once I notice I'm not happy, I would act on it. Why would you let it sit?
Yeah, but that's
for that long. But
you also don't have kids to think about, and like, I mean, I don't know everything. Everyone's different, but I know for me, like, no matter how I might feel, like my biggest thing is, okay, well, let's say I act on this feeling that I have. How is that gonna make somebody else feel? And like, I don't want to upset anybody else. So like, it's good. I think it's good to be sound in your own opinions, and if you feel a certain way and you know how to resolve that, do that. But it's very hard to be that way. So hats off to you for being able to do that. But I'll tell you firsthand, it's hard for me to do that because I don't want to make somebody else feel a certain way. I just kind of suppress my feelings, which probably isn't very healthy. But, you know, everyone handles it with a different way. So, I mean, that I couldn't imagine throwing kids into that.
right, yeah. So I mean, it was a lot to take in, and obviously I didn't know what to make of it, and I was still fairly young and impressionable. So I think for the first couple of years, I sided with my dad just because I felt bad, and I'd always been closer
Really?
to him. But yeah, then I kind of got to know more about what actually went down, and then it was
More details started coming out.
more. Yeah, you get that closure, and more of it was okay. I think my dad's really in a spot where he pretty much just needs to be on his own and figure his own stuff out, and I need to support my mom because she's just been everything's been torn out, But then it was more of again with what Ross described as like it's not my problem, like it wasn't me. I wasn't the deal breaker or whatever, and it's my mom and my dad's problem.
Mm-hmm.
They're adults. They need to figure it out, whatever it is that they need to figure out. And I need to be me. I need to do me. I need to figure out my life and not worry about making dad happy, making mom happy, or picking sides.
That's why I feel like it would be tough.
Yeah, and it
It's
was
not picking sides.
It was. I think both parents were equally to blame. It was dad's evil, and it was I'm not evil. I'm unhappy, and I wanted to make a change. I want to be happy. So it was you felt both.
Yeah.
But wanted to. Austin, I think, realized it sooner than I did. Like, you don't want to get involved with that.
No.
At all. It's a them problem. It wasn't us. We're great childhood, great growing up. Is awesome. Now we're all each Janelle, Tobin, Austin, Keenan. We're all on our own paths. Dad can deal with things the way he wants to deal with. He's gonna end up getting married to who he started having feelings for. Start his own family on the side. Mom's remarried. We wanted to just do whatever and move on. So but it took a while for me to realize that.
Yeah, I could imagine.
Like it's because I'm compassionate. I think I wanted to help.
Yeah.
But you can't.
That makes sense. That makes perfect sense. So when you found that out, when your dad told you, did they continue to live with each other for a while, or did they pretty soon after that get?
No, Dad. He I think I remember him asking us what we wanted him to do. He said, "Would it be easier for me to just up and move out and give mom the space and just start fresh?" And we kind of said, "Yeah." We definitely don't want you guys together. So he moved out and started doing his own thing, and I was going off to college. So
you lived on campus at college?
Yeah. So we were living on Hartel, right by Mitchell Gagne.
Okay.
And they were just Austin was over in Albion doing his own thing, and I remember being with both of them at the same time, just nonstop arguing. Blah blah blah. Why'd you cheat on me? What? This,
but not living
that.
together.
They were together.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, but it was she wanted to fix it.
Oh.
Like she wanted to mend it, and my dad was just like me, hard-headed.
That's
he
tough.
was just done.
Yeah.
And so it was we said you guys should just split it, and then divorce takes 5 years. But yeah, then I went to college, but with all that happening at again a pivotal spot when I went to college, I was just lost.
Yeah.
So, I
what do you mean lost? Just you didn't know how to feel about stuff back home,
Just,
or
I don't know, man. Just like lost. Didn't know. I didn't have any guidance from anybody. I didn't really know what I wanted to do. All I knew was that I kind of wanted to run, but I also was just acting out and rebelling and stuff. I ended up going to SVSU and I got kicked off the team. So
Saginaw Valley.
Yep.
Okay.
Yeah. So I mean, it was just a lot at once. I just didn't really have grasp of anything. So
Is it? Why do you? So you said you said you rebelled.
yeah.
Were you rebelling purposefully to like? And this might not be what you're doing, but to get attention from your parents, or is it just kind of like fuck it, I don't care anymore. I'm just gonna.
It was more that I lost all that structure that I had thought I had.
You didn't have Coach Dad there.
I didn't have Coach Dad anywhere, and I didn't have, Mom was, and Mom's amazing.
Yeah.
Mom's amazing. She's always here for me, but that was kind of a phase a little bit for about a year or two where she wasn't because she was dealing with her own shit.
Yeah.
And I didn't have that structure, and I had free reign.
Yeah. Well, on a college campus.
Yeah, and college campus, being away, and everything, and senior year doing my whole tweet thing that I had for a little bit. I just didn't get any support from anybody really, so I acted out. It was bad.
In college?
It was a bad phase. Not proud of it at all. Yeah, and ending high school and then going into college. Yeah, and it didn't bode well in college either. So
Okay. And acting out. Let me just ask. Does that mean like drinking?
yeah, a little bit of the drinking, the partying,
Okay.
just what do they call it? Just kind of avoiding
Problems.
problems. Yeah. So
I mean, that's one thing we can fucking relate on. When you're going through. So let me ask you. Before you went through this big, I would say, life event that's kind of shook you, right, and made you recalibrate. Did you ever have to party or do anything? Did you ever do that, or is this like a new thing? Like you've never started drinking, you never did all this stuff until this event happened.
yeah, and that's the thing of being like a late bloomer. I had never done any of that crap until now because I was just always so I guess structured or morally aligned, whatever you want to call it. I just wasn't into any of that stuff because I was so serious with sports and just how I was raised. But when that all broke down, I experimented with a bunch of stuff, and it was just kind of not, like pills, drugs, alcohol, partying. And so when I went to college to run, but I was also doing that, the running wasn't going well.
Yeah.
And the coach was a my way or the highway type guy, and he booted me off the team. He just said, "We don't want you anymore."
And was that hard to get booted off the team? Was that kind of like a moment of, oh shit?
That was a wake up call. That was a wake up call for me. It was the only thing that I had at the time was stripped away.
Yeah.
Because of I mean, maybe I deserved it, maybe I didn't, but at the same time, it was taken away. So it was a wake up call.
So then, did you lean harder into the other stuff, or did you cut that out?
No, I think I kind of stopped. I cut it out.
Wow, that's good.
And went back home for a little bit. Lived with my dad, and he started coaching me again. And then I went to Schoolcraft, made up some credits, and then got to OU.
Okay.
And
did you run there or no?
Yep.
Okay.
Yeah, cleaned up my act a little bit, but again, it was kind of hard truths and trial and error, big mistakes on my own to learn, as opposed to having my parents there to help me with it. So it was just extra stress. It's harder doing it on your own, even when you're at that age. You want your again, when it happens when you're in third grade or whatever, you have the rest of your coming of age to have that get figured out, whereas mine was right at the end where I also kind of needed it.
Yeah.
So
I mean, I think in any time you probably need some types of
even
structure.
Even at 24, you need your mom a little bit of time.
Yeah.
If they were going through it now, it still would be kind of crazy.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know how you feel in the divorce thing, because like I told Ross, I haven't gone through that, and I'm grateful for it. But I will say, it's so just like yourself, I never drank, or I mean, I'd go to parties, but I never drank or smoke or anything until I was about almost 22. I started drinking because I went through something that really fucking shook me. I never smoked or anything to this day, but I would say it was a drinking problem for about a year and a half, because I don't even know. I mean, the weird thing is, it's like I did so much shit in that year and a half, but like I don't really remember much of it not because I was like fucked up to where I don't remember shit, but like I suppressed it because it was such a shitty time.
Yep.
So it's like you ask me details about shit that happened in that year and a half or so. I'm like a lot of bad shit. I don't know. Like I wasn't really. I don't know. I couldn't tell you really anything. Like, was I a good person? Was I a bad person? Did I treat people like shit? I don't know, because I was selfish in the sense that I felt so shitty that I'm just gonna do what makes me feel better for just a little bit of time, which was drinking.
Yeah.
Just shitty.
Just escape a little bit.
Yeah.
You know?
So,
Yeah.
it fucking sucks but at the same time, if you're fortunate enough to kind of see the other side of that, you come through having learned a little bit about what not to do, and
Right.
you face a lot of hard truths when you're in those issues. When you're having, or at least for me, when I was drinking a lot, faced a lot of hard truths about myself.
Learn quick.
Yeah, you learn quick, but it's destructive. But I learned what kind of person I wanted to be, maybe some things that I have in me that needed to be worked on,
Yep.
and what kind of people I liked and what kind of people I wanted to avoid. So, I mean, it's weird that some of the shittiest things can shape you for the better,
Yep.
and it's still not fun to go through.
Yeah, those things kind of definitely make you look introspectively hard. To just, you got some problems, you got to work them out. Otherwise, they're not gonna go away unless you think about them, figure them out.
Well, and being the competitive person that you are, it's probably extra hard for you to figure out that you're not perfect and that you got some shit that is probably not very good.
Yeah.
Yeah, dude, I know.
Sure.
When someone told me about some of my flaws, I immediately put a wall up. But then when I started thinking about it, I'm like, fuck, dude, I'm not as great as I thought I was. Mm-hmm. And that was a fucking tough pill to swallow. And it's still a tough pill to swallow because you want to think that you're some great person. Yeah. And you might have some great qualities.
Which you are, but everybody's got idiosyncrasies.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But you see other people's and you don't see your own unless either you're really good at unless you think introspectively and you start examining yourself, or if somebody you care about fucking tells you about yourself and you're forced to face it.
Hindsight's 20/20, and I think being on the outside looking in and spectating somebody else is always way easier than looking in the mirror.
Oh yeah.
But yeah, I agree.
And when you're drinking too, you're not really seeing, you're seeing something else. So you're still not facing yourself, but it's the time in between drinks where you're forced to think about, fuck it, like, why did I drink yesterday and why am I going to drink again tonight? I got to figure this out. This isn't sustainable.
Why am I so sad? Yeah.
No shit, dude. No shit.
Yep.
So,
yeah.
I mean, I don't know if you want to get into it. I've never experimented with pills and shit like that. Was that fun stuff or was it like dark stuff? We don't have to go there, but
no, I mean, I think it was more just I didn't really have anybody around me to say no, so I just yes-manned a lot of stuff. I mean,
did you not know what a lot of it was? You just were like, okay.
I didn't know what a lot of it was, but I don't know. I just remember in high school those kind of things going around too, and not really trying it because I was insecure or thought it was bad. But then as I got older, I realized that it's good to try things maybe once. Mm-hmm. It's good to you try everything once, give it a shot. Don't knock it till you try it, right? But I don't know. It was more just in college I had free reign to do whatever I want. I wanted to kind of test everything out a little bit. I wanted to test the waters. I didn't get to do that before. So it was going to Lollapalooza and a little bit of ecstasy, a little bit of Xanax, and just experimenting with stuff. I'm just having fun. I felt like I didn't really have fun growing up with like always being focused on the running and being competitive all the time. I wanted to stop being competitive. I just want to have fun, make friends, try some stuff.
So is that another sense where you say maybe it was a late bloomer of everyone did this shit in high school and now I'm going to do it later?
Exactly. A lot of things were just late bloomers with everything. Divorce happened later, so what I went through with the divorce happened later. Experimenting, rebelling happened later. Being at college magnified that. And then also, relationships and breakups happen later. I was dealing with them being 21, 22, as opposed to, maybe you or somebody in high school that was with somebody for 4 years. Like Nick and Alexis dating forever since high school. Honestly. I had never had anything like that.
Yeah.
I didn't date anybody till I wasn't comfortable enough to do something like that until 20, because I never really knew how they would work or how to be a significant other or boyfriend to somebody, because I didn't have that structure later when I was ready to do it. I didn't really have input or advice on that, so it was baby steps on my own.
Learning how to be in a relationship and stuff.
Yeah, nervous and insecure about, am I ready for one? Would I even be a good one? So it was getting my feet wet on my own with stuff like that. Yes, it was.
And that was in college?
Yeah. Yep. Just late bloomer with everything, I feel like.
I mean,
so
there's no shame in that.
No.
I mean, I think breakups are probably always hard, as are relationships. But the one that's in reference that I think you're thinking about was that around the same time that you were kind of dealing with drinking and shit?
Yep. Yeah.
Or is that what sparked the drinking and shit, or no?
No. I think it was a couple phases, I guess. I mean, I think Saginaw sparked a little bit of it, and then getting to OU, it stopped, and I felt like I had structure again with coach and a team, and just being part of something good again. Mm-hmm. And then I got into a relationship, and then after a year and a half, that fell apart too, and I was the one, like we talked about earlier, I was the one that was to blame, and I was broken up with, and that kind of sparked another phase of...
You're the one to blame and you're broken up with?
Yeah, and that kind of sparked another phase of what the, introspective, the hell is my problem type of deal.
So when you say you were to blame, that's what she said, you were to blame, or you actually think you were to blame, wholeheartedly?
Well, no, I look back on it and I think it takes two to tango.
Yeah, okay.
But she didn't want to take any of the blame. She said it was a me thing, and she didn't want to deal with it. So yeah, and that was another harsh truth and look in the mirror type thing.
Yeah.
But now I know that it was both.
Yeah. So you accept some of the blame, but it wasn't all you.
I accept some of it, but I think getting over that kind of breakup was realizing that it wasn't all me, and it was definitely both sides. Mm-hmm. But also making sure to learn from, okay, good, it wasn't all me, and then just throw it aside. But say, okay, it wasn't all me, but this is what was me, and this is what was her, and grow from that, and it's helped me in the one that I'm in now.
See, that's funny because mine was the exact opposite. At first, I was like, "Oh, it's all fucking you," and then when I had that conversation and learned about some of the shit maybe that I was doing, unconsciously, I was like, "Okay, well, it's actually some of it was me." So, and that was a pill that I had to swallow and be like, "All right, well, these are things I was doing not even knowingly, and see how much it hurt somebody and push them to do something that hurt me." So how could this be prevented? I got to be better about how I treat people and more conscious about how I treat people and not just like take things for granted and take people for granted.
Right.
Which I believe would have helped. Which I believe has helped me in the relationships I'm in now, whether it be with significant other, with friends, with family. Try to be more mindful of how much they mean to me and remind them of that often. And that's probably one thing I still am not great at is vocalizing that. Mm-hmm. But I think one thing maybe I'm better about is showing that physically or through actions I do, not so much for the words I say, which maybe isn't good. Maybe I should be doing both, but I don't know. I feel like now, having gone through that, I spend a lot of time thinking, and maybe it's good, maybe it's bad, of what should I be doing? Here, I know my feelings. How should I be showing these and vocalizing these to people? Right. And should I be? Yeah. So the point being, that whole thing has been thought provoking. Whether it's changed me for the better or the worse, I at least think about it now, and so I'm trying to change for the better. Whether I'm there or not, that's and jury's out on that.
Consciously thinking about it is the key, right?
Yeah.
And everybody kind of is different with that.
Yeah. Goes at their own speed.
Yep.
As a lot of guests on here said, I probably would benefit from therapy, but for some reason, I don't know if I'm just not ready to tackle that or what, but...
Yeah, I guess that's a preference, too. I think some people think the crutch of therapy helps, or maybe just the hard-headed learning it on your own. It helps you learn a little bit quicker, but maybe it's a little bit more destructive. I guess it's.
Is that how you are?
No, I've done a little bit of both.
Okay.
I went to therapy. Yeah, I've done.
Okay.
Yeah, I think it helps. I think honestly, I think it shows you a harsher truth sometimes than just
Really?
being, like I said, just looking at yourself in the mirror and just yelling at yourself, saying what's wrong. I think they give you a good. It's nice having that third party giving you an opinion because they're not with you.
Yeah.
It's more of just this is what I see because I'm a therapist. It helps, but I also feel like learning quickly and just nipping it at the bud type of deal also helps. It's just a matter of preference.
Yeah.
I've done a little bit of both. I think both are good.
Yeah.
Therapy obviously involves a little bit more money. So
Yeah.
But
I mean, I won't argue therapy anymore. I think I've been proved wrong on that one. I think maybe I'm ready to throw in the towel because everyone seems to think that it's good, and I'm sure it benefits you at least to a certain degree. Maybe some more than others, but
yeah,
so I'm not going to argue that point.
some people don't want to vent to friends or whatever about it. They want to vent to third party. So
I feel like you should be able to vent to at least friends. Like if you want to do therapy and friends, but I'm not going to beat a dead horse. I've been saying that, so I mean. People know what my opinion is on that. It just is what it is.
Everybody's, like Ross and I keep saying, everybody's in different shoes.
Yeah.
Different scenarios. Everybody handles things. Maybe you don't like looking introspectively like that, so you want to just say the hell with it. I'll get a therapist to tell me straight. If it works, it works.
Yeah. I mean, whatever you need to do.
Yeah.
But I will say, so the one thing that maybe I want to bring back up, just because I hear a lot of people say this, and I know you said this, and I don't know if I agree or not. You said, might as well try something once, and that was after you were saying like ecstasy and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And like I said, I never smoked, I've never done any types of drugs and anything like that. And it's not like, I feel like a lot of people when I say that, they think that I'm saying that because I think I'm better than them, and that's not the case. It's just like for me, and I don't know. For example, when I started drinking, I would say I abused it to the sense where I did it for a good year and a half, almost every day. And I got to the point where I know I have a drink in my hand right now, but I don't. Now when I drink, it's like 1 or 2 beers, and I don't get fucked up. I don't abuse it. I'm not an addict, nothing like that. But the fact that I had a small portion of that in me for a certain amount of time, I don't want to smoke. I don't want to take pills because if there's even a chance that I start doing that more than once, I know I won't want to be that person. So it's like, maybe it's a fear, maybe it's insecurity. I don't know.
A little bit.
I don't know because
picking one thing up that you like and then just rolling with it.
Maybe because I've seen like some people I care about when they fall into those things. It's usually in a dark period of their life. I'm not saying it always is because I know some people do it for fun and they function and their mental health is good, and if that's good for them, cool. But for me, it's like a lot of the times that I see people doing those things, either they're in a dark part of their life or it's people who I just don't think they don't have much going for them.
Right.
Not saying everyone who does that is in one of those two categories because I know it's not, but that's just like what I see. So I don't want to do that because it's like I don't want to fall into that dark area again, and I don't want to abuse it, and then I also don't want to like have that be my focus to where I stop focusing on work and I stop focusing on my relationship. So it's like I get the mentality of wanting to try stuff once because you don't know if you like it or not, but I'm scared of what if I do like it,
Yeah, I guess it's a little bit of a balancing act with it. Obviously, I think, don't knock it till you try it. But also, if you get a lot of bad reviews on something, you've got a bunch of people in here talking about how one thing is really bad. Maybe you avoid doing that one. I mean, I have a family friend of mine that was a cocaine addict for a while, and he's been in recovery for 10 years. That's something I don't try.
Yeah.
Because I haven't gotten anything in terms of good reviews supplied. So, but it gets us a mixture of both. But it was also just a phase for me of a yes man thing. Now I'm coherent and in touch with the things that I like and don't like, so I steer clear of certain things or steer towards certain things.
Yeah. Well, and I think it's good that you can do that.
Yeah.
I don't know. And again, you know what? I mean, I'll share my opinion. Hopefully, it doesn't like piss people off. But lots of the people I see that are like potheads. They're lazy, or they're not very motivated, or, and I'm not saying all. So that's why it's like, do I want to do these things that when I see them in others, they have a negative connotation to me?
Yeah.
Do I want to be that person that's always? I mean, I don't know. But then they could say the same thing, like, oh, maybe Seth's always too uptight. He just needs to loosen up. And so it's like, I see.
Some weed and loosen up.
Yeah, I do. The funny thing is, people think I do smoke weed, and I don't know why. Well, I do know why. It's because of how I dress and how I laugh and stuff like that, and what kind of music I listen to. But regardless, it's like, I feel like I put such a negative connotation into those things because a lot of the people I see doing them aren't very inspiring. But I also try to be mindful that not 100% of people fall in that category, so it's like I shouldn't be so judgmental of it. Because I know, like you said, you shouldn't knock it till you try it, and I shouldn't, but at the same time, it's like...
Yeah, it's same token, yeah.
Yeah, you know what I mean? So...
I think a little bit of it can maybe be taken from, what Ross and I talked about is, like, as long as you're doing it because it actually does help, and you're not doing it to escape or doing it to, for clout, for instance, or whatever, to be a pothead. If you're doing it, like, my brother smokes weed because it helps him sleep. Mm-hmm. He works late hours. He's a shift manager at Dairy Queen. He does a bunch of different stuff. He's always on call, like a nurse or a doctor, and he's doing a bunch of different stuff. He doesn't get to go to bed until 2 a.m. or whatever. But smoking the weed relaxes him and helps him go to sleep, and that's how you do it. Maybe it helps you focus. It helps with Parkinson's. Mm-hmm. If you're doing it for medicinal reasons, then that's cool. But if you're just doing it just to get high, then obviously maybe that's something where I guess people like you and I can agree. It's like, I'm not going to do it just to do it.
Yeah. And honestly, weed I don't have much of a problem with because I feel like there are a lot of good like medicinal qualities to it.
Yeah.
For some reason, it's like I don't have like body aches. I don't have like mental shit that I need it for yet. Maybe like when I start getting older and I start getting more like achy bones and shit, maybe I'll start doing like the CBD oil and eating edibles. I don't know, but
yeah.
I think that's a good point you said, because like if you're just doing it to just abuse it and just like get fucked up, sure, maybe it's fun, but for me, I don't get that. It's like I feel like, okay, here's what I'll say, and this probably will piss some people off. I feel like if you want to use weed and pills and shit to have fun, then you're boring as a person. I can't and maybe that's naive, because I mean I used to say that about alcohol too, and I will say sometimes things get more fun with alcohol, but not always. I can have fun regardless. And I'm not like, again, that's not me saying, oh, I'm better than you, but it's just like, do you need that shit, or do you tell yourself that you can't open up without it? Because if you challenge yourself to like go outside your comfort zone and like be more outgoing and have more fun at these parties or these events with friends without that shit, I think you will. It's just, I feel like lots of people program their mind to be like, oh, I need to have this to have fun, and that's where I think it becomes an issue.
Yeah, it's a society stigma, I guess. You think party, you think drink, or you think relaxing and just eating food and having a good time, or whatever you think, maybe smoking some weed before, I guess. There's some people out there like that, I guess. I have a few people that are kind of hate on the fact that I don't smoke weed either. I just don't like it. But sometimes, oh, you don't want to get high? I'm like, not really. No, I can have fun. Can have fun without it, but I do like more of just a collective type thing and taste testing type thing. I do like drinking beers. I like trying different beers and having one or two. Not alcoholic phase anymore, but I do like drinking beers. I like a hopped, like an IPA. But yeah, there's some
Hop
people
slam.
out there that there's some people out there like that.
Yeah, I know. I don't know what it is, but I mean, I feel you. I drink beer now because I like the taste. But I mean, I don't think you'll find me drinking O'Doul's like for the taste of beer. But I mean, I don't know. Maybe I'm a little bit of a hypocrite with my viewpoint on different drugs, because I do drink, but I don't know. That's just the way I fucking feel. So it is what it is. I know you wanted to touch on lessons learned after, we kind of dove a little bit into divorce, a little bit of breakups.
Yeah.
A little bit of, I don't know if you want to call it abuse. I don't know what you did with drugs and alcohol, but usage.
Yeah.
So after all of that, you seem to be in a place where you're level-headed, and I don't know you very well, because this is the first time we've really ever hung out.
Yeah.
But I know you wanted to mention that you had some lessons learned. I would be curious to know what lessons you learned through all of that.
Yeah, I'd like to think I'm a little more level-headed now. But
Okay.
yeah, I think with all that kind of trickling down, the divorce to breakups and managing stress with substance abuse, I think has kind of helped me realize some lessons that just everything. I guess a little bit. Time heals all wounds. I guess sometimes everything happens at a different pace for people. I went through things at this age. Somebody else goes through that. You lose friends or family members, or college is rough. Everybody is on a different path. So I feel like it's almost a little bit of just be patient and focus on what it is that you're doing, and not worry about what everybody else's chapter is. You're on your chapter, just worry about yours. And I think maybe a little bit of just with that, try not to judge as much. Just because you're here doesn't mean that that person has also been there. I think it's more of the growing up. I think it's a psychology thing. It's like the personal fable thing, where you think that everybody else is going through the same thing, or that nobody else but you has had this problem. But more often than not, everybody's probably gone through something similar.
Yeah, and maybe if it's not the same problem, their feelings have probably been
all
similar.
Different, but at the same time, relatively the same. So more just take things with a grain of salt and just go at your own pace. And after 5 or 6 years, you'll be good friends having a podcast with Seth. It's just how it goes. It's just the flow of life.
Would you say that that's because what you just said, I take it more about how you treat people and how you respond to how others are treating you, right? Be more mindful of stuff like that. Would you say that goes with the same grain of salt as like if somebody has a different opinion of something than you do? Do you be more mindful of that as well, or? Yeah,
I think it's a little bit of being able to accept that people's opinions are different, but also, and it's probably hard, but find a common ground there too.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm sure there's a lot of podcasts that you've had so far where maybe you and the guest differ, but you come at a standstill where it's agree to disagree, or agree to take a little bit of what you said, but take a little bit of what he or she said. Yeah. So, I mean, I would agree with that. I like what you said there, because I wholeheartedly believe that no matter how many differences we have at least one thing that is common ground. At least one thing. And if we can maybe not be best friends because of it, but at least come to respect one another because of that one thing, then we can deal with our differences later. And if we feel we're mature enough to discuss those differences, then do so. But I just hate that everyone's trying to change other people's perspectives to fit their own, because I used to do that. It's fucking stressful for me, and I feel like it's stressful for the other people as well. Right. So, I mean, yeah, I agree. Can you pause it? I gotta piss. I mean, yeah, I can pause it. So just disregard that. That was our first potty break on the podcast. Keenan Jones was the first time somebody did that. But, hey, there's always... I appreciate you bringing in a new element to this. Always a first for something. When you gotta go, right? So we ran through kind of the agenda. One thing that just personally I wanted to ask you, just because I feel like I never really understood it, and I'd like to know more about it. Not that it matters anymore. Oh boy. Why did we have I feel like we had a unknown beef for. Man, I have no idea. I mean. Well, actually, so let me ask you. Did you have an issue with me? If so, what was it? Just curious. I mean, honestly, it might sound weird, but if I had to pinpoint something, it won't offend me. No, it's more of probably an embarrassing thing for me. I think a lot of what I went through in high school was I was jealous of a lot of people. I think Ross, you, and kind of that group. Obviously there's cliques in high school and stuff, and I just didn't really have I didn't really have a lot of friends, really, and I wasn't really doing a lot I didn't have a lot of interests other than just the cross country and track that I was doing. I just feel like, and that's, I guess, maybe a regret that I do have is I wish I had tried more things when I was younger, as opposed to being such a late bloomer and trying things late when maybe people have already done it and it's not really mainstream or whatever, which doesn't matter. But I think a lot of what it was in high school is I was jealous of a lot of people because they were doing things that I wasn't really comfortable with doing or was allowed to do. So I mean, I think I don't know if I'm right or not. I don't want to speak for Ross or for you, but it seemed like a lot of you guys had jobs when you were in high school a little bit. You guys were working.
Yeah, I mean, I had a job since I was 13, but that's nothing to be jealous of. I'll tell you that.
Well, yeah, but you guys were working. You guys had jobs, and Ross had his own car, and you guys were working and making a little bit of money and spending to go out and have fun and stuff. I mean, my family was a little bit poorer, but at the same time, I was so busy with sports and focusing on school, and maybe just also being not comfortable enough to step outside of my comfort zone and maybe ask my parents to get a job or something. I didn't really have a lot of resources to go out and do fun things. Parents really couldn't give me, oh, you want to go out with your friends, you want to go out with whoever and drive around and get food and buy some stuff. Here's cash. They couldn't really do that, and I also didn't go out and go do something like getting a job or whatever. So I think one of the things I remember is you used to always have you had watches on.
Oh my god, the fucking flex watches, dude.
The flex watches.
The flex watches.
You had that flex watch phase, and I was like, damn, that's fucking sweet.
Dude, my man.
I like that. And
these things are so bad though.
I've always kept it in the back of my mind. I have a watch collection now.
Okay.
But
that's fucking funny.
Yeah, during high school and stuff, I'm like, this kid Seth, he's got like 12 or 16 different.
Dude, those are like $20 watches.
Colors of watches or whatever. Yeah, and I've looked them up, and they're affordable. They're cool, but they donate stuff to. Are
they still around?
Yeah, they're still around.
Damn, dude.
Yeah.
I used to think I was so fucking badass with those flex watches. Dude.
Right, and I would, I'd have a little bit of an opinion of like, this kid probably thinks he's fucking sweet.
Oh, I did.
Watches, but also just maybe he likes watches. He likes collecting a little bit.
Yeah.
He's got a job. He spends money on watches and hop slams, like whatever.
Yeah.
But I can't do that, so it was more of a in spite thing, which is.
I think.
That's something I regret. That's something like the tweets and the rebellious stuff that I had when I was senior year, I regret and definitely don't think was a good phase. I was petty and spiteful and a little hard to get along with.
Yeah, I think a lot of people are. And honestly, before you came, I was trying to think to myself, why didn't I like Keenan for some reason? And I don't know what, I don't know what the answer was at the time, because like since high school I haven't seen you, so it's not like I fucking hate you. But I was trying to think about it, and I actually, you saying that and then just me kind of thinking about other things, I think what it might be is, so I don't know if you listened to the episode with Grant, I said two people who I was prejudiced against with are some of my best friends, which was Jeremy and Freed. And then one thing that you have in common with Jeremy and Freed, all three of you guys are very good athletes and are very good at the sport you did, right? I was never a bad athlete, but I knew I was not going anywhere for hockey. I knew I was not, like, I was never big. And, like, you guys, none of you guys are, like, big. I mean, Freed's pretty built, but, like, you guys aren't, like, big, but you guys were good at your sports. And I think maybe part of it was I saw how determined you were in running, and, like, you were going to be good at running, and I was never going to be that good at a sport. And I don't know if that's the reason or not, but I think the only reason that I can think of that I was prejudiced against Jeremy was that he was really good. Jeremy has fucking confidence in everything he does, and the fact that he was so motivated about like a sport, I'm like, wow, fuck, dude, I wish I was that good at hockey, but I'm not gonna put in the work. Or Freed, like I remember Freed in like in 8th grade was like super short or whatever, and then he just got like fucking yoked, dude. And he was good at every fucking sport. I'm like, yo, fuck this guy. Why is he so good at these sports, dude?
Yeah.
And you with running. So honestly, I think now that I'm like thinking this and saying this out loud, I think maybe what it was is I was like, I'm never going to be that good at hockey or any sport, so fuck these guys because they care about it more than I do.
It's those insecurities. I think.
I think you might be right.
Displace blame a little bit when you're, at least for me, when you're younger, you try to throw it on somebody else or hate or be prejudiced or be a little jealous of somebody because they got something that you maybe wish you had but didn't, but
didn't try hard enough for. Because you can have it if you try it for it. That's interesting, and I didn't ever really make that connection until I started saying it out loud. So, but I hope that doesn't mean we have beef now, because I'd like not to. But regardless, thank you for coming on. Before we go, you know how I like to end these. I need a mental health tip from you, so please share.
Meditation and yoga.
Okay.
So yoga is something I've picked up the past couple months. I think it helps me. I'm working out a lot more now too, so it's definitely something that helps you decompartmentalize a little bit and just stretch and connect body to mind. And I think meditation does the little bit of the same thing, like I think Kayla stressed in her episode, but also you do it at different times or for different aspects of your life. It helps me sleep, and it helps me kind of organize my thoughts, just and put them into folders. Essentially, I have a lot of meetings when I'm at work, being a consultant and stuff. So it's nice to do a 5-10 minute meditation session before you have to present something or whatever. So I think those definitely help for sure.
Is there a certain type of yoga that you like or that you do, or just?
I'm not really good enough with it yet. I think it's just like yoga in general.
That's fair.
Like, what's it called?
I don't know the names for any of them.
The doggy style or like standing.
So just some traditional poses?
Yeah, just the traditional poses, stuff, control the breathing, all that kind of stuff. I think it helps. It connects with oneself, and also just after working out and you're sore, it helps.
Dude.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You get a good sweat in. It helps stretch everything out. Feels good.
Slows down your day.
Oh yeah.
Dude, so I mean, real quickly, I'll just interject. Yeah. When I had knee surgery, my physical therapist said you need to start doing yoga, and I'm like, fuck that, that's for bitches. Dude, let me just tell you, I went my whole fucking life never being able to touch my toes, ever.
Yeah.
Started doing yoga, not only, so my recovery time for my surgery, they told me I'd be playing soccer again in like 13 to 15 months. Started playing in 10 months, because I was doing yoga hardcore. I can touch my toes in any position I want now. I can almost do the splits. Your boy is fucking way more flexible than he's ever been. And my stability in my legs, like, they're stronger now than they were before surgery. Like, yoga is good physically, it's good for your heart, it's good for your breathing, and it's good for your mind. So
It's very good cardio, for sure.
Dude, it's hard as fuck, but it's good.
Seth getting into the Warrior 1, Warrior 2
Dude, classes, don't fuck with me, dude. I'll be in the Warrior 2.
Nice. Yeah, but, yoga helps, for sure.
Yoga's good. So if you take anything from this, take the fact that yoga helps, and all the other stuff. But
yoga and meditation.
Yeah, I mean, those are both good. So, good tip. Thank you again for coming on. Glad you reached out.
Loved it, man.
If anyone else wants to follow suit, reach out, be on the podcast.
Do it.
I love having guests come on. Made basically a new friend, I think. I would say so. I think he agrees. He's not saying much, just his hands, but I'll take it as a yes. So reach out at the podcast Instagram, which is TIMM Podcast, or send an email at timmpod@gmail.com, or just fucking text me or hit me up. I don't give a shit. Poke me on Facebook. I don't care. Just hit me up. Anyway, until next week, guys. Thank you.